Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Lise Leblanc, therapist, author, and life coach, and today's video is part two of all the things that a man would want to hear from a female covert narcissist after a breakup to help break the trauma bond. Unfortunately, you will never hear these things, and I will explain why. If you missed part one, please click on the link above. If you find this video helpful, please consider supporting my channel by subscribing or in other ways such as with a super thanks or by joining my membership community. And thank you to all of you who have already joined. Okay, so let's dive right in, but keep in mind that these things are not things you will actually hear in reality. But if you could, it would definitely help you resolve cognitive dissonance and heal from this experience. Number 6 is admitting all the psychological abuse. So in this ideal world, your narcissistic ex would say something like, I abused you psychologically. I mapped out your insecurities and emotional triggers, and then I used your psychological vulnerabilities as a weapon against you. But just know that no matter how personal my attacks got, no matter how I compared you to others who were so much better than you, tried to make you jealous, brought up your past traumas, baited your emotions, it really wasn't that personal. I do this in all of my relationships. It's a key tactic to gain control over you and hide the fact that my emotional development is seriously stunted. As long as I can get you to think you're the problem, then all attention is diverted away from me, and there is no danger of you figuring out that I'm the problem. So the truth is that a narcissist exploits your vulnerabilities, often by shaming you in order to avoid their own feelings of shame. It's a defense mechanism to protect their fragile self-image and keep their false self from recognizing itself as false. So when you understand that this tactic reflects their inability to cope with their own emotions, especially shame, and it's a defense mechanism to protect their victim identity, then you can understand it's not a reflection of your self-worth or your value. You were never the problem. Number 7 would be to acknowledge their constant devaluation and how it crushed your self-worth. So in this fantasy land where narcissists have self-awareness, this acknowledgement might sound something like, it must have been incredibly frustrating and hurtful to deal with me constantly attacking your self-worth. As you know, I couldn't accept any criticism, and yet I was constantly putting you down, nitpicking, and micromanaging you. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing it that way? You kept hitting a wall of criticism and contempt as I treated you like a defective, incompetent, and inadequate idiot. I can see how this destroyed your self-worth and your sense of self, but I can never seem to grasp that devaluing others is a symptom of my disorder. Instead, I always mistakenly go back to thinking that others are the problem. Of course, it would be great if a narcissist could recognize that they are projecting their deep-seated insecurities onto others and that their inability to regulate their self-worth causes them to attack yours, but unfortunately, their disorder blinds them from seeing themselves as they are. In order for you to heal, it's important to focus on rebuilding your own self-esteem, establishing firm boundaries, protecting yourself from further manipulation. If you need help healing from a toxic relationship, please check out my toxic relationship recovery program that I linked in the description section of this video. Number 8 would be to understand and appreciate your efforts. Here, you might like to hear them say something like, I appreciate the lengths you went to in trying to understand me and improve our relationship, including seeking professional help. But because of my narcissism, the harder you worked, the more it threatened my sense of superiority and victimhood. You see, if you're the good guy, what does that make me? So anytime you try to assert your needs and express your feelings, I made you believe that you were being selfish and uncaring. Meanwhile, I never gave a second thought to what you might be needing or feeling. Instead, I took advantage of you and made you feel undeserving of my love, expecting you to sacrifice everything for me while I made zero effort to reciprocate in any meaningful way. Now, wouldn't it be nice to hear that your efforts were noticed and appreciated? Unfortunately, in the real world, a narcissist does not have the capacity to appreciate or reciprocate your efforts, because that would require a willingness to acknowledge and value someone else's needs and feelings and contributions, which fundamentally challenges their self-centered worldview, where in their reality, they are doing all the work and you should be appreciating everything they're doing for you. As a result, they will continue focusing on their own needs and desires at your expense, remaining oblivious to your significant contributions and whining about how undervalued and unappreciated they are. Number 9 would be some sort of apology for the pain and suffering that they've caused. This might sound something like, I was not able to be a supportive and loving partner to you. I couldn't see how I was falling short of what you deserved and needed in a partner and in a relationship. I may never be able to grasp the depth of the pain I've caused you, or sincerely regret the distress and confusion I brought into your life. Sure, sometimes I offered insincere apologies, but these were all self-serving and always ended up with you being in the wrong and me being the misunderstood and mistreated victim. I do wish I could have seen the long-term psychological harm I was causing you. For this, I am sorry. Maybe it wouldn't change anything to get this apology, but it would be healing if they could understand the deep and long-term impacts of their actions, and that they could actually admit that they were a horrible partner who left you in a much worse place psychologically. But unfortunately, because of their lack of empathy, they don't feel any genuine guilt or remorse, which is what allows them to move on so quickly and continue this exact same pattern of manipulation, deception, and emotional abuse in their next relationship. Number 10 would be to explain why you were discarded. In this ideal world, your narcissistic ex would say something like, you were discarded because you were no longer seeing me as I wanted to be seen. And when you started seeing me as I actually am, it was unbearable. You can't imagine how unsettling it is to have this meticulously crafted image of being a good and virtuous person dismantled, leaving me exposed and vulnerable. Because of this, I am no longer able to manipulate you as I once did, and I will never have the support I need from you to maintain my victim identity. And you will no longer be willing to take all the blame for my bad behavior or for the failure of our relationship. Now that you've unmasked me, it has stripped away my ability to control how you see me, making me feel extremely powerless, and for these reasons, I can never face you again and must paint you the villain. So if you are discarded by a narcissist, please remember that if ever they do come back, it's because they want something from you. So please remember to set your boundaries and protect yourself. A relationship with a covert narcissist is incredibly challenging because it's one giant catch-22. No matter what you say or do, it leads to negative outcomes. If this is your situation, then give yourself a reality check. And if you need help breaking free from a toxic relationship, consider reaching out to a mental health therapist in your area who can help you. Thank you so much for watching, and to learn more about how to break a trauma bond, please click on the link above.